Greetings and salutations, friends, and welcome to some more Planet Coaster with Fraggle. And it's the 15th. Well, it is when I'm recording this. I don't know what it is now. And the new update is out, and this is version 1.1.0. Not quite the update I wanted to see. I mean, this is a Christmas update, and that's absolutely epic. But I was kind of sort of hoping for some of the missing content that didn't make it in at launch. And I do realize that some of that is actually in this, but not all of it. You know, not security and the picnic benches and some of the other stuff that that we saw previewed but didn't make it into release. Anyway, so apart from all the Christmas stuff, which is amazing, by the way, I still can't figure out quite how I'm going to work that into a regular park, because I don't want to start the Alpine. I don't want to start the new biome just to build, you know, a winter park. It would be really cool if I could like incorporate a little winter area into existing parks. Anyway, so what are we looking at with this? Well, we got lots of new features. We got 2 new ratings visible on roller coasters. I kind of had a suspicion that there was at least 1 or 2 ratings that were invisible, and now they are visible, which is really cool. We have the Prestige, and we have the Reputation, which is really cool. Prestige is like an overall appeal and value of the ride, and Reputation is, you know, how the reputation of the ride. You know how you go to a park and, you know, I'm not riding that because it's broken down 6 or 7 times and, you know, people have died on it. Wait, people have died on it? I want to ride that now. That kind of thing. I don't think it does quite that whole, you know, laughing in the face of death thing, though. The Reputation comes in one of 5 states, you know, new, deteriorating, old, reviving, and classic. And I'm glad to see the classic thing come in there. With any luck, classic will increase the prestige of the coaster. But I do hope that there are specific things you have to do to get to that point. I hope it's just not a time scale thing. You know, if the ride queue isn't like at least 100%, I don't think that you know, you should be able to get the classic on an old roller coaster just because it's old, right? I mean, there are old roller coasters that never did reach the classic status because they were just old. There was nothing particularly special about them. Anyway, so moving on. The staff management list has been kind of altered a little bit. We now have a new tab which shows all the staff members, and from there we can actually manage them. So we can change the salary, increase the training level, assign the rosters, view their current workload, and of course kick them out of the park if they are being naughty or lazy. The attraction list has been updated. We can add the ability to change ticket prices and blah 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 blah. A lot of this was covered in the live stream. What I wanted to do was look at some of the stuff that wasn't. Well, they've applied some camera fixes now. Apparently, we can now tunnel under the terrain with the camera, which is quite nice. Thank you. There's 11 new coaster blueprints, but I don't really care about coaster blueprints. I prefer to make my own. Okay, so let's get into the deeper stuff. Duck moments no longer add to nausea. That's great. Rolling rapids, additional cars disappear if the first one falls off the track. So that's now been fixed. Don't explode trains that are stopping at the station. I don't think I've ever seen that happen, actually. I've never seen my trains explode unless, of course, they've come off the track and hit the floor. Angle indicator added to the slope and curve track construction widget. Aha. Length indicator added. Improvements to general improvement to supports, adding dog legs and sloping supports. The Pioneer has been fixed a little bit, so the rear wheels actually look like they're on the track. There's been improvements to the Invincible supports, so those weird-looking supports on that initial lift hill sound like they've actually been fixed. The heat maps have been tweaked a little bit, so we shouldn't see gaps in that. The Invincible coaster, the cable lift hill, you remember when it got up to the top and over, it would hold it. That's now been fixed, so as soon as gravity takes over that Giga coaster, it will start working. It won't get held back by the cable lift. The drop hold section now actually generates levels of fear during the pause, which it didn't do before, which is pretty cool and a little troubling. I might have to go back and reevaluate some of my blueprints then. Oh well, such is life. The wooden coaster, you can now adjust the auto tunnel size on a Woody, which is pretty cool. The heat map issues, I guess testing issues or heat map issues, I'm not sure, for multiple trains on coasters has now been fixed. Apparently they would start, if you had multiple trains, the first one would go off. When the second one hit the station and stopped, it would start recording, which would lead to that mysterious drop in the excitement or the status for our roller coasters. I'm sure some of you have probably seen that. I've seen it. I think it's actually been in one of my videos too. Flourishes for guests play less often for a guest who are only just experiencing some excitement, and more often for guests who are experiencing a lot of excitement. Apparently, it was just set up so all the guests played the flourishes basically at the same time, no matter how their excitement levels were being addressed by the ride. It's a nice detail adjustment. Lift hills are now less nauseating. I can't say I ever noticed that, except on the log flume. Added a drop shadow map to the, added a drop shadow to the heat map, so we can now actually see the text on the heat maps when they're against a white background, which some of mine are quite a bit. It's been interesting trying to read the numbers, the white numbers in a light colored box against a white background against a bright blue sky. Increase the maximum downslope for the Invincible coaster. For the cable lift to 80 degrees. I'm not quite sure why you would do that. The Magic Cat ride, the heads have been reduced. I think that was something they mentioned before. Duck moments no longer add to nausea, and they have also decreased the fear boost for duck moments by 2 or to 2. If you don't know what I mean, duck moments, if you have roller coasters going in and out of themselves and getting close to a track above them, you'll notice if you watch the people, they'll like duck as it goes by. That's kind of what they're talking about, avoiding collisions. So the rolling river and the log flume have actually had a slope increase or decrease depending on your point of view. You can now make more inclined slopes in both rides, just to make things a little easier trying to get them onto the ground level. I've in the past had so many issues trying to get the splash pad down at least against the ground, and it's taken several tries and quite some time. So now we can adjust that. And we can also adjust the length of those sections too. Apparently they can now be changed from 2 to 20 meters with 1 meter increments. So we can now adjust the length of those sections. Yahoo! Flexibility. Okay, so what about rides? Well, there was an issue with the Hyperspin ride where the queue had no queue time, so wasn't getting any guests. That's been fixed. There was an issue, I never saw it myself, but where sometimes when you were laying the queue path from the entrance, it would try and flick back to the control booth. Didn't see that myself, but you know. And of course, another one where you, if you had placed the right entrance and you went to move it, it would invalidate the right entrance. Hopefully that's also been fixed for the right exit, because I think that same issue with the right exit might be causing the engineer bug. If you've seen that one, he'll walk up to the exit to go and maintain the ride and just get stuck. And the only way to fix it is either just delete the path or click on the move ride button, but not move the ride. What else have we got here? Guests have now reduced the clipping when guests walk into the restroom. It says toilets, but I'm going to use the word restroom. It's a little more generic. Fixed the seams found where necks connect to bodies. Yeah, I only noticed this the other day. I had one guy on a roller coaster who he looked like he had stood up when the sign clearly says no standing. We got new facial hair. We got the lamb chops to play with. I'm sure they're gonna be popular. Some people reported that the guest cash spent status was not working, so that's been fixed. They fixed the gift shops, so people should be more inclined to go to the gift shops and purchase stuff. Different gift items have actually had their popularities adjusted. Balloons, hats, and mementos. Two new hats for the hat stall. We've got the elf and the reindeer hat. And we've got an issue where changing from opening state to testing with guests seated on a flat ride, they would remain on the ride whilst in test mode. Which I didn't really find a big problem, but they did. They got a free ride. Staff, we've got a new entertainer, the Festive Coaster King. It's exactly the same as the other Coaster King, except now he's wearing a Santa outfit. Staff placement, we can now place multiple staff members at the same time. Remember, if you wanted 4 janitors, you'd click the janitor to place him, and then the whole window would close, and you'd have to click on park management and staff and click on hire another one. That's now been removed, so when you click, it doesn't close everything down. You can drop multiple staff members at the same time. And the pop-up window now shows the task count of the previous month, not the current month. So if you're not paying attention and you click on the staff member and it shows you he's only cleaned up 3 pools of vomit, it's probably because you were looking at him at the beginning of the month. Well, now it will show the total for the previous month, so you can actually make sure he's doing his job. Bunch of changes to the UI, which are really cool. The HUD now shows the date of the month instead of the time. The pre-built coaster blueprints now show the correct cost, which came as a bit of a surprise when I tried to build one the other day and it was flipping out at me. The F5 and F9 quick load and quick save buttons now perform as you would expect. They don't keep bringing up the parent menu. They've adjusted the coaster trigger panel so we can lengthen it. There's no duplicate in there yet. Please let me duplicate the triggers. The testing notifications have been made a little more sensible. Excuse me. In that, whilst you're building the coaster, it won't tell you that the coaster is untested. I always found that quite funny. There's now a delete path button, so we can actually delete the path rather than, hammering our delete key. We can sync prices across all our shops now. If you had like multiple versions of the same shop throughout the park, you had to go to each one and make adjustments to the price there. Well, now we can sync them. There's now a recently used subcategory in our construction menu, so you don't have to go back and hunt for the same piece that you used 2 seconds ago. It should now just pop up in that panel. That's going to come in really handy. A new notification, when you were playing the career mode, and it would only tell you when you had completed like the entire section. If you complete the easy, it would tell you completed the easy, but it wouldn't tell you anything else. Well, now they've got it so it will tell you when you completed a little section of it. So if you had to build a coaster with an excitement value of 5, it would tell you, hey, you've done this bit. Personally, I didn't really see a problem with that. They fixed the bug with the multi-select. I'm sure many people have discovered this one. When you use the multi-select to delete a bunch of stuff, it would disable the multi-select and you would have to click off and then click back on again. That's been fixed. Huzzah! Coaster objectives in the career mode. That's now been fixed. Apparently what was happening was the values on the coaster were being rounded up to the nearest 2 digits, or 3 digits. So, it would say 5.0, where in reality the game was seeing 4.9 or 4.96. So, something like that, whatever, close enough. The game was doing some kind of rounding function, and that was kind of blocking the completion of roller coasters in the challenges. We can now rename the stations on the transport rides. So I can now rename all the stations on my Coney Express. Excellent. Of course, now I want to replace my Coney Express with the new ride, the Iron Horse. It's the steam train. It's the same kind of thing. It's just got a bigger rider capacity. And also fixed the statistics for queue time, reporting the incorrect data. We've had new statistics to the park management under miscellaneous. Localization and text, we don't really care about that. Scenery improvements, we've got some changes. The Planet Coaster sign number 14, you can now change its color. Oh my god. The Fairy Tale Fountain thumbnail now actually matches the model. There's been some texture fixes, some color options added to a couple of the panels that were missing it. And the Clockwork Tower now actually has the back of it. Apparently it was being culled for some reason. I think the back face on it was the wrong way around. 2 new shrubs, so we can now put down some new shrubberies. And they have a color option, so we can change the color of them. I wonder if we can get like a 2-level effect with a little path running down the middle. Fixed the thumbnails, fixed the vendors' feet showing through the walls of the shop. Bunch of audio changes. Mostly the audio has been improved. I'm not going to go into that list, but the audio has been substantially improved. Close-up coasters will now be louder. As you get further away, this will decrease, so it's on a curve instead of just a straight line. Over 800 bugs and mixed tweaks and optimizations have been made to the audio component of Planet Coaster since the release. So, there you go. Lots of updates, lots of changes. Again, I'm not going to go into it too much, but you're definitely going to notice. Like some stability fixes. They're working on these as time goes by, but fix the crash when unsubscribing from multiple workshop items quickly. Again, I can't say I ever noticed that, but I'm sure it's an issue. And fixed a memory leak in the heat map data cache. That one sounds important. More optimizations. We've optimization for the coaster music system to use less memory. Improvements in the path rendering system on larger parks. Ooh, that sounds interesting. It doesn't go into any detail though. Cleanup of the structure of existing art assets for memory saving. Excellent. Performance improvements when you're laying down new path pieces around pre-existing areas. Sometimes it would get a little bit, funky with where it was trying to hook to. More optimizations to the park management screen, reducing the delay when you try and open it. Optimized memory usage. Improved performance. They've reviewed a lot of the model LODs to make sure that the LODs are rendering properly, and also to try and cut out some of the extraneous polygons, which is good news. Improved load time for parks and blueprints. Now, I actually have, a sandbox park going, and it's taken. I have barely done a great deal of work on it. I mean, it looks good, but I think I've probably filled maybe a quarter of it, and it's already taking a fair amount of time to load. Or, by the sound of this, was. Improved the load time for parks and blueprints, reviewed the connectivity of asset packs to ensure packs better represent the objects that use them, and speed up loading times by caching a database queries. And we have a new tutorial! Advanced simulation. Did you want to build a snowman? Those are cute. Alright, that one can go away because we have predefined faces like here. Oh my god. Oh, these are so damn cute. This is just insane. Let's give him some arms. Right. Is that an arm? Oh, we get to pick the nose? Oh, yeah. Yeah, of course he gets a nose. Give him a trumpet. Yeah, you know exactly where my mind went right there. You dirty bastard. Yeah, what? Is that the... Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I think this is starting to go on. You've got the idea, I think, at this point. It's a Christmas update, and it's awesome. Or rather, I don't know, are we supposed to use the word Christmas? Festive? You know what? I really don't care. I celebrate Christmas. I'm not particularly Christian. But whatever you celebrate, it's a great time of year. Be happy. Be friendly to each other. Say hello. Enjoy the season. And enjoy the update.